All right, a little late getting to game 6. There have been some hand changes. So where's the weakness? Stuff, for the first time, has a 9 in every direction. So it is less likely there will be a weakness. But one thing I note, what if we, for Smokes, played, it's not quite good, but say 7, 8, 7, 3, and 7. The only capture from 8 is 9, 3, 4, 9, and 3, 2, 9, 9 has sneaky coverage of that. Sneaky coverage. So if Stuff wanted to attack it, he would only have 4 as a good opportunity to do so, and 3, 2, 9, 9 is always a pretty safe recapture if needed in 8. By safe, I mean easy to recapture as needed, will never be comboed. On the other hand, you really don't want to play 7, 8, 7, 3, and 7 here. Your hand is not happy to be going in that direction this game, I don't think. I think this is going to be another Stuff favored game. You kind of need to hold on to 7, 8, 7, 3 to dissuade them from playing 9, 3, 4, 9, and 9. But it's not even that amazing dissuasion. Can you just play 3, 2, 9, 9, and 3? Because they're never practically. I guess they technically can. But no, maybe they do. Play 7, 9, 7, 1, and 5 and set up for 6. Wait, what am I talking about? They already have 6. They need to set up for 5. They can't set up for 2. They can't. All right, I'm gone. Sorry. Maybe you just play 3, 2, 9, 9, 3 and kind of play a game. I think that's probably a reasonable option here. Try to block 6 next turn, kind of against anything. If they go 6, you go 2, and you have pretty good cards for facing the action. Yeah, that is what we see. Smokes and I very much on the same page. The creator of this rule set has been messaging me, apologizing for what an atrocious rule set they made. It does seem hard to press for much. It does seem, at the same time, not that hard to get yourself in some trouble, but maybe it's hard to get in enough trouble that you lose? I don't know. Hard for me to judge this one. I tend to be negative about certain rule sets. This one, I'm always skeptical of missing P. But I don't know. And also, like, it mostly misses S. Now, we did get a relevant S in the last game. Because, I mean, we did. Sorry, I'm really scattered right now. We did get an S in the last game, but S is going to be pretty rare because of the stipulations limiting how many cards can essentially share numbers. So it is close to plus wall combo. Which is a curious rule set, certainly. Yeah, if you're Smokes, you're kind of just trying to play 6 next turn. I don't think there's too much more thought process to it. You played a card they can't take, they can't set up against the way they can't take, and you're just going to try to build out from there. What has Stuff picked up? He has picked up the 4893, right? Yeah, must be. So that presumably is going 1, fitting his previous stuff. And then I think Smokes is going to go 6. Not with 7873, because he needs to keep that to cover 9. But actually, 6578 is going to land in 9, annoyingly. So you want to have a 7 or an 8 down in 6, so that doesn't flip anything. And then you play from there. I don't know. I think Stuff has a pretty good position again. And we saw very quick play. Now, I was thinking maybe you play 7685, maybe 8387 is a little better to hold on to, but I wasn't sure. I don't know what to make of this. My guess is Stuff kind of gets to choose what little pressure he gets before it becomes a tie. But my guess is this is going to be another It Smokes that has to be a little more careful type of game. But yeah. I don't know that I have too many thoughts here. Sorry that I'm sort of zoning out a bit. There's 6, 5, 7, 8, and 9. There's 8, 3, 8, 7, and 9. Those should be fine. You can probably play 2. You don't have a great card for 2, but you can probably get away with it. You know what would be funny? I remember Turds talking about, because I did a post interviewing him for it, but in S.E. Vincent, so we're going all the way back to 2007, before I was born, as it turns out. By which I mean before I was on TTA. In the semifinals, no. The semifinals was Ace. No, I think it was in the selfie semifinals. Because I think he was playing Nightwish. He'll correct me on this if he watches this video. Which will be a good test. If Turds doesn't correct me on this, then we know he doesn't watch the videos. Which we already knew. Shh. Or we know he watches them intermittently. But it would mean he missed this all-important one. And the reason this is relevant is because Turds against Nightwish, I believe it was against Nightwish, but it could have been the semifinals of Vincent, because semifinals are in my head. So it was the semifinals against CC Ace and Vincent, or it was the semifinals against Nightwish and Selfie. Interestingly, as I failed to get to the point of my story, Ace, I believe, beat Nightwish in Vincent in Nightwish's first tournament, where Nightwish had knocked out Kamikaze, showing he was already really, really good, but it took until a couple years later for Nightwish to really break through as one of the best players ever. But I think Ace beat Nightwish in Vincent, and then Turds beat Ace. But 2 years later, Nightwish beat Turds in Selfie. And I think this was from Selfie. Anyway, point is, I think it was 7-9-4-6. Not sure exactly. But they got a formation like this, where there were these adjacent corners, and neither player had the capture in 2. So like this game, like it goes like 1, then 3, and then they play 6, saying you don't have 2, and then the other person plays 4, saying you don't have 2. And since the return, we have never had this in a tournament game. It is very much a rare way for things to go. I don't think we'll get it here. I think we'll get 9. 6, 5, 7, 8 has been picked up. I'm guessing that's going to go in 9. But it is very possible. It's not illegal. You are allowed to do it. And we won't see it today. So one move that's kind of interesting is to go 5 here. But if you went 5, you have to do it with 9854 because the other cards set up the same. So you don't have a very good way to do so. All right. Vid says his instinct was Shiva in 6, which was also my instinct. This was the first time my instinct has been a little different than Smokes. Was I thought 8378 had a little more play moving forward. I don't think it should make that much of a difference, but I agree with Vid. I wanted the other card for 6. So you probably can't play 5 because you don't really want to use up 9854. So do you go 2? You probably just go 2. So say 7685 and 2. Saying, see, it was better to keep this card. Now I have 8s facing out instead of like a 5 and a 7. 76852. If 79715, you have the same in 8. So that's kind of ruled out. 83875 is silly. It doesn't mean it loses, but it does mean it's silly. And finally, incidentally, I do not think it loses, but it is silly. And 9349 and 5. 7873 and 4 should tie. So it should be paths to a tie. Unless I'm, missing some key line, I wouldn't be too worried here, and I'd go Shiva in 2. But I don't know, man. Man, my computer runs the battery down really quick while recording like this. I should go find my power charger, but what you gonna do? Sorry, this has been one of my worst commented videos ever. I am just no longer connected to the game. I was hoping to get out of the house 30 minutes ago. Not for anything important, but just for something I wanted to do. And as soon as I sort of realized I was going to keep recording, I just started spacing out and thinking about other things. So maybe that's a sign that I should, even if they continue, call it after this game. But I think this will be tie number 6. And I think what's clear is not that Smokes is doing badly, because I basically just agree with every move Smokes makes. They're like all the moves I think are correct. But that this has gone from a seriously Smokes favored matchup to a level 1. From the first day of play to the second day of play. I suspect what we also may have learned is Vid is going to steal a hand from one of these two players. Probably from Stuff. Alright, let's check my messages and be even more disconnected. Yeah, these corners are just hard to meet. In general, you just don't have the tool to control corners very well. And so you're going to have some kind of corner they have trouble dealing with, and they're going to have some kind of corner you have trouble dealing with. And then the question is, can you do kind of a second thing that creates difficulties? But they've both clearly moved to like understanding where their good corners are and how to play against the others. And I think they're just some rule sets, there is the question of how many games will it be before someone finds something really clever? But I'm not sure how much super clever is available. So then there's rule sets where the question is, how long will it be before someone makes a mistake? And this is also a rule set, as is frequently the case as rules are less or less, is it is harder to make that mistake. Easier to make the mistake the more rules there are, the more complex the position is, the more tools your opponent has. And then there's, someone just has a better feel for the rule set or is a better player, and how long is it going to be before they break through? And I kind of thought that was the case after the first 3 games. I'm not sure what I think now. Okay, that's not the card I expected in 2. So it covers 7971 still. And it has combo play against 9349. But it does allow a capture from 8387. And 8387 is actually a kind of clumsy card for you to deal with here. But I guess there is just 8387 and 5, 7873 and 4, and the only captures are 9349, which is covered. So this should be a tie. Alright, this should work pretty similarly. Is there anything else that's really important to check? Alright, something 8. You go Shiva 5, 7873 will be good enough. Something 4. You go, you won't believe it, Shiva 5, 7873 will be good enough. Something 7. Hmm. 79717 is kind of interesting. Because if you go Shiva 4, then 83875 wins. And if you go 78734, then 83875 wins. If you go 4, 5 wins. Either you capture 7, but they have a double capture in 5, or you don't capture 7 and they have a single capture in 5. Either way, you lose. If 79718 and you go Shiva in 8, then they can play 9349 in 5, and they win. And if you go 7873, then they can go 83875, and I think they win, right? Because they double capture and you only single capture the card in 7. So do you have a tie in 5? I don't think so. I think 79717 wins, unless I'm missing something. I'll ask Vid. I'm lazy about calculation. I don't... I mean, it's been a while since I played, so I'm not like the sharpest calculator, but this might be it. Should be a remarkable win from stuff. You know, I should probably just ask the solver. The solver will know more reliably than Vid will. But unless I can't count, and we all know I can't always count. It looks good. I think 9854 was the wrong card. No, actually, in these endgames, 7685 looks better than 9854. So does this mean the position was just really bad? I'm probably just missing something, but... but 3299. What's the next card? 8378. Uh, 9854. 7685. 7873. Versus 4893. 6578. 7971, 9349, 8387. Red turn goes first. Same plus wall combo. Looks good. Okay. 32993, 4893, 1. Only ties, or there were very few ties, but they were basically 8378 and 6 and 7685 and 6. Both ties. Okay. Smokes does a good job. Now, Stuff his chances to pressure. He chooses 65789, which I think was good. And there are a bunch of ties. 76852 is one of them. 9854 is another. I am wrong. This is a tie. What did I miss? 98542. And I wanted 79717. Oh, there's ties in 5 and 8? Really? Oh, there's just no capture of 5. You have no right. You can't take anything. I was just assuming you could flip something at some point. Okay. Yeah. Oh, and there's the plus wall in 4. Yeah. Okay, so I'm brain dead. Alright, we can't trust anything I say. I have closed the solver, though. And yeah, we're going to see the 7685 can fight 9349 line. Alright, apologies for that. I missed the plus wall with Shiva in 4 as well. So there's a tie in 5 because you can't actually take 5 from 4. I just assumed because 8 was dead that Smokes would lose if 4 was played, but 4 doesn't flip anything, so somehow that ties. And then you can also, because you have 4, you can go in 8. Yeah, and I didn't think there were extra captures. So I thought 8 lost to 83875, but it doesn't, because Shiva does flip multiple things back. Alright, that was silly of me. Apologies. Shows that someone can screw up this rule set, maybe not the players. But okay. I think I'm going to stop here, even if they do keep going. Because I'm just not all here, as I think has been clear this video. For various reasons. Not because oh, I miscalculated something, I must not be all here. No, that can happen whenever. Just because I'm clearly not here, and also I'm miscalculating things. So, yeah, 6 ties so far. Interesting match. I do feel the trajectory of it has really changed. I have gone from Smokes' firm favorite to Smokes' slight favorite, probably still. Yeah, Smokes thought he was in danger there. But he always had a couple ties. And he was precise in a way that I wasn't. So, alright, we'll call it there. And maybe they'll keep playing, maybe they won't. But that's all I'm going to be able to do today.